Hi, this is Alexandra at Beadaholique, here to show you how to make a jewelry set with gemstone chain and wire-wrapped briolets. So here we have some beautiful hand-prepared wire-wrapped gemstone chain that's sterling silver with carnelian beads. And this is about 12 inches of chain that we're going to put together with some beautiful amethyst briolettes, carnelian briolettes, and then a matching earring. You can see here I put this earring together. These colors go so beautifully together. And this is on a sterling silver earring hook. I should say that a couple of these components, like this chain, jump rings, and clasp, are silver plated, and we'll be using some tarnish resistant silver plated wire as well. So if you want to upgrade this whole project to sterling silver, you can find all of those supplies at beadaholique.com. The tools we'll be using here are some round nose pliers, chain nose pliers, and some cutters. And so to begin, what I want to do is show you how I've prepared these briolets. I went ahead and wrapped the ones I knew I would need ahead of time, just to save us a little time, but I want to show you how to do that. So I'm going to take about 3 inches of my artistic wire here. This is 26 gauge that I'm using. Which is nice and supple. It's great for getting around the edges of the stone without fear of cracking. So here we're going to go in the top of that briolette, and I'm leaving about an inch tail on one side and the remainder on the other. I'm going to cross up and over the top of that stone. And then with my pliers, I'll angle that longer portion up off the top and wrap the tail portion around the base of that off the top piece, like so. Then I'm ready to clip off that tail, and with my round nose plier, I'm going to get a grip right here, angle straight off the top of that coil that I made, reposition my plier. With the round nose on top, I'm wrapping around my plier to make my loop. And so that's how I've prepared all of these briolets for wrapping. Before I close it up, of course, I'm going to be latching it onto the necklace we're making. So let me cut off some extra wire there, leave myself just maybe 1/2 or 3/4 of an inch for wrapping. And just to demonstrate, I'll do one more of the, on the carnelian bead, which is just a little bit smaller. These beads come in an assortment of about 6 per packet here at Beadaholique, and you'll notice they're different sizes because these are natural stones, so they're all unique, and that's what I really love about gemstone jewelry making, is you can really make it your own. With every piece unique. Here, I'm going to come around one more time just to be consistent. Clip my tail there. Angle off the top, wrap around the plier, and I'm set to go with that one as well. So now comes the fun part where we get to design. I'm going to bring my gemstone chain to the forefront here, scoot my earrings back a little bit, and just start to place all my stones the way I want. Now I also want to make sure that my chain is clipped properly. I want to show you the end here. When you buy your chain, it may look like this because this is sold by the inch, and so when it's cut, it may have a little incomplete loop that you want to take off, and that will leave you with maybe an extra bead or two to work with in a future project. So I'm going to completely take that wrap off, make sure I get both ends of it, and I see that it's also giving me a little dangle. And this project's going to be good for repurposing any dangles that might come off of these center wire wraps. And now that's set to go. I'll check my other end, and that looks ready to go. I'm just going to start to lay out my briolets in the order that I want them. So I'm going to bring the largest stone down to the center and just start to space my amethysts up the edge in a way that looks pleasing to me. If you want, you can measure. But again, with these stones, the irregular nature of the chain, the uniqueness of each piece really makes me feel like it's easier to just go with the flow. So I'm taking against a couple of the larger carnelians that I see here, and I'm starting to space them in between the amethysts. And adding these briolettes to the ready-made chain just makes it so luxe and gorgeous, really rich looking. Coming up here, I have it set the way that I want. I'm also going to lay out the rest of the necklace to show you what we're going for here. So this is some nice, delicate, long and short chain that I've chosen for the back side of the necklace, because when you're working with these really beautiful higher end materials, you may not necessarily need inches and inches of this sterling gemstone wire where it's not going to be seen. And this may be a more comfortable way to wear the necklace also at the back of the neck. So I'm just going to lay it out in the way that I'll be constructing it, like so. And now for my first step of actually putting this all together, I'm going to go ahead and lift up my chain, find the center point just by holding it with my fingers in a way that the two ends hang down evenly. I'm going to find the wrap that best centers my bead, and go ahead and slide on the wire wrap that I did on this briolette, right onto that center portion. You can see I'm not hanging it onto a dangle, I'm hanging it onto that really more substantial center wrap. And I'll take my plier, grip flat onto the loop that I made, and with my flat plier, chain nose, I'm going to close that coil up just like so. Clip that extra. And lay this down and see where I want my next amethyst to be. Now from here, now that I've centered it, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my ruler and see what it looks like to get just about ½ an inch between each stone. ½ an inch is going to be a little tight. I think I'm going to go for 1 inch here. So right at this wrap, I'm going to take my carnelian stone and hook it in. I'll do the same thing. I'm going to grip on that loop with my round plier and coil up the tail with my chain nose plier. Use my flush cutters to clip the extra. And I'm going to continue up either side, just spacing out my gems as I go, each inch. Take up my next amethyst and latch it onto that wire wrap there. And once I get these wire wrapped on, I'll meet you back at the top of the necklace where we'll be finishing it off with the chain and clasp. So I've added on my last briolette bead, and you can see from my choice of spacing that's left me with a couple of extra beads that I can either choose to add to my earrings or use for a future project. So now that I'm ready with my chain portion here, I'm going to add it to the back end. So let me take up this 4mm jump ring. It's a 21 gauge. And I'm going to go ahead and latch that onto the end wrap like so. Not onto the dangle, but the other wrap. Then I'm going to link on my long and short chain. Take up my other plier and close that jump ring. I'll do that on the other side. Gotta stick my link on there. There we go. now for the clasp. Basically with jump rings, you just want to pick a size that's going to work for most every aspect of your piece. Go ahead and open that up and put my clasp on there. And finally, the jump ring the clasp will latch onto. There we have our beautiful necklace. Go ahead and hook this so you can hold it up and see just how beautiful that turned out. I'm going to also lay it out against a ruler and see what our length is like. I know that each of these chain portions in the back was 3 inches, so let's see what that gives us all together here. We've got, with the clasp, about 12, call it 18.5 inches there. So you can choose to make that longer or shorter, whatever you'd like. And now let's move on to the earring. So this earring measures 2 inches total, and that is with 1 inch of the gemstone chain. So we're going to take our portion of gemstone chain here and make sure that measures up against it. I've got a broken end that I'm going to be snipping, but the other end looks good, so let me hold that up and make sure I'm going to get the right measurement here, inch to inch. So I'm going to go ahead and clip right where I see this connection here. Careful not to clip both, but only the one link. And again, you see I popped off a little dangle, and I'm going to go ahead and incorporate that into my earring. So I've got my length of chain, I've got my little dangle, I've got some extra bits there, and now I'm going to take up my Amethyst Briolette and choose a side. I'm going to latch it onto the end link of one of those center wire wraps. Close this up. I think I'll add on one dangle, just like so. I'm going to slide that on to my wire wrap and incorporate that into my design. Close up my wire wrap and then move to the top. I'm going to bring in my sterling earring hook here. Move that loop off to the side. Find my top wrap that I want to hang from. And get that looped on. I'm also going to loop on this little extra dangle straight onto my earring hook. Close that up. There we have 2 beautiful earrings to go with our necklace. I just love this set. So that's how to make a beautiful jewelry set with gemstone chain and wire-wrapped briolettes. All of these beads and supplies are available at beadaholique.com. Thanks very much for watching, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the latest updates. Thanks.